Hi, I'm Wanhee, and let's be honest, losing fat is not that easy. It's actually one of the hardest things to do. Just look at this guy. And just like this guy, you probably tried this instead of this, eating this instead of this. Now, what if it was actually so much easier? What if instead of doing all this hard work, you could lose fat passively? Let's get into how to do that. So you've seen all these finance videos talking about passive income, right? You make an investment into a house and then people pay rent and you sleep and you make money in your sleep. Now, what if the exact same thing could happen in your fat loss? And let me tell you right now, it can. Number one way to lose fat passively is to have more muscle. Muscle is like the investment that you can make in your body that will make it so that your metabolism is higher. Your base caloric burn is higher. That just means it's easier for you to stay in a calorie deficit because your body's naturally burning a lot of calories without you even actively trying. Muscle mass actually burns more calories purely sustaining itself compared to fat. So the same person that has higher muscle mass, he's gonna burn more calories doing nothing, just existing, than the same person who has more fat compared to muscle. This is why people with a lot of muscle actually don't have to try so hard. They can just kind of maintain the body, just work out a couple times a week and just eat like whatever they want kinda, and still maintain a pretty lean physique. Most people are thinking, how can I do more things? How can I move more? How can I run more? How can I gym more? It's a small portion of your caloric burn. The majority of your caloric burn actually just comes from being you. So if you have more muscle, that's the best way to lose fat passively. Next point is to have high NEAT. NEAT stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Not the stuff that you do, like going to the gym and just like running more, all this kind of extra active stuff, but all the little things that you do, like fidgeting, going to the bathroom, getting water, just like moving around a little bit, all these little gestures that I do, like all these little movements, the non-intentional, the non-exercise part of your day, that actually burns a lot more calories than you think. If you have a high NEAT lifestyle, this is a great way for you to lose fat without even trying. Now, of course, am I saying you just go start fidgeting around, start being hyperactive? Not really. But what you can do is start to just take more movements in your life. Like instead of asking someone to bring the water, go get the water yourself. Maybe take more trips to the bathroom. Go to a bathroom that's further away. If you work in a cafe, walk to the cafe instead of taking a bus to it. Use more gestures when you talk. So all these little things that you do are going to add up to increasing your daily caloric burn without you actively trying. If you do things too intentionally and too actively in your mind, then it almost becomes like the active exercise that you do. You want to focus on doing things almost subconsciously and just becoming a guy that tends to move more in his day-to-day life. Next, become a flaneur. Okay, what is a flaneur? A flaneur is a type of person that wanders around the city. You see, most people, again, actively go to places when they leave the house. You always have a goal. You're like, okay, I'm going to this cafe, so I'm going to walk like this street, take that bus, I'm going to go there. It's very goal oriented. You just go there direct. And it's very rare that people just wander and get lost. You have no particular aim and you're just traversing the streets, just like wandering around, looking at stuff, being drawn to things. Maybe you did it as a child. What is the element here? Again, it's a little bit less of an active intentional thing, but more of a passive existing where you're just kind of being and wandering around. And in urban studies, these flaneurs were kind of people that were trying to be cool, like wandering around instead of like moving in a way that people wanted you to move. But you can take this idea of wandering and almost apply it to your life. Like instead of going out on a walk with the express purpose of like, I'm going to get 10K steps to lose fat, I'm going to actively walk so that I'm going to lose fat. It's all very active. But if you just let go of that and you just become a guy that moves more and you just kind of wander, and while you do your thinking for the day, while you do your planning for your work strategy meeting, you're just wandering and you're kind of doing it as you move. What's happening? You're passively losing fat. You might almost not catch the difference between active and passive here. It's really subtle, but it makes a big difference. It also incidentally makes getting steps easier, because if you're obsessed about getting 10K steps, you're going to constantly check and be like stressed out about it. Whereas if you ever just wandered, like just got drawn to different shops and just wandered, you'll be like, holy crap, I just walked 15K steps. I should go home and eat something. Next, did you know that chess players in the world championship chess matches, Bobby Fischer versus Boris Spassky, they're using 6,000 calories when they play chess. Now, you might look at that and be like, how are they burning that many calories? All they're doing is moving pieces with their fingers like this. But there is so much energy that is being exerted with their brain, with their focus, with the neurons firing, all the combinations being calculated, Queen's Gambit line, King's Indian, Dragon Defense, like all this kind of calculations that the brain is working overtime. And your brain can burn calories like nothing else. If you've ever focused hard on an assignment or something you had to do, if you ever gave a presentation, if you ever did something with intense focus where you had to apply yourself, even though there was little movement, you found yourself extremely like hungry after because you burnt a lot of calories. Again, it's not about this active, let me go to the gym and do all this crazy stuff. Sometimes it's just about spend more of your day in that flow state, in that concentrated state, in that brain engaged focused state, and that's actually a way again to lose fat passively. Now, am I saying, okay, so take up chess as a hobby? I mean, maybe, you know, I love chess. Chess is actually a very, very good hobby to do for, maybe not for fat loss, but also for fat loss for the reasons that I just described. But whatever it is, imagine a concert pianist playing Rachmaninoff Concerto No. 3. Like, he probably burns like 3,000 calories playing that. Whatever it is, try to be maybe obsessed, enthusiastic, just energetically focused on something of your passion, and this is a really good way to burn those calories. Next, to change your identity to that of a healthy, lean person. This is perhaps the only truly passive way to lose fat, because everything else that we've talked about, even though it's kind of passive, there is an element of like trying to lose fat at the end of it as well. But think of being just a lean, healthy person. You literally have to use no energy to be lean and healthy. This might sound confusing, but bear with me. Like, let me tell you right now, I don't really use energy to keep the body that I do, which is kind of lean right now. I literally exert very, very little energy. I'm not trying, I'm not calculating, I'm not obsessively gymming. It's just part of who I am. It's easier for me to just train my body, like go to the gym and exercise, than not. Like, it would be painful for me to not do those things. And even eating relatively healthy and having the foods that I love, it's just really easy to sustain this body. Why? Because I've become that person. Now, rewind back, you guys know my old story. Even just 3-4 years ago when I was doing my PhD, when I was overweight, my identity was kind of like this bohemian, like academic, like I was smoking a lot. I even thought like maybe smoking kind of went with the aesthetic of the academic, looked kind of cool. Now, people ask me, how do you quit smoking? Do you have to drink this tea? Do you have to get this patch? Like, no, you don't gotta do none of that. You just gotta become a non-smoker. You just gotta become a new person, where my identity became someone who is fit and healthy, that helps inspire confidence in other people to become healthy. Imagine if I was doing all this, making videos. When I finished recording, I went for a smoke. It just doesn't sit well. Those identities clash. So naturally, the smoking went away. And I don't use any effort not to smoke. And to prove this point, just ask your non-smoking friend that's never smoked how hard it is for him to not smoke. It's not hard at all. He doesn't use any energy not to smoke because it's not his identity. This is truly the way to make fat loss passive, by making your identity that of just like a healthy, lean person. Constantly tell yourself, I'm just a healthy, lean person. I don't eat that fried street food anymore. I just don't do those like drunken parties till 4 a.m. It's not me anymore. How do you change that deep level identity? It's not as easy as just like changing a workout routine. It's something that takes time. The first step is awareness, like what is the identity that I'm carrying? The second step is to realize the things that bind you to this current identity, whether it may be your surroundings, your family, your relationships, your current situation, your past traumas. And all of this becomes clearer, and as you start to face it and embrace it, you can let go of that previous identity and start to change. And this is the kind of stuff that we delve into in my coaching community, Minimalist Training Club. So if you want to be a part of that, I'll leave the link below. If not, that's totally cool. I hope some of this video resonated with you. Share it with someone that you know would be helped by it. See you in the next week.